Hi everyone, my name is Camelia and I teach the MAP method online, but I also help people develop all the skills they need to start engaging with a neurofascial self-care technique. So I wanted to chat for a few seconds on what skills are needed to develop a self-care practice. And by self-care practice, I do mean a movement-based self-care practice. So some of the basic skills that you would need is the ability to place your attention and move it away from where you've placed it. Allow it to move away, not forcefully move it away and not forcefully put it there, because that will create tension in various parts of your body. That is a very, very sophisticated skill, and it is taught in all somatic practices. Whether you're practicing martial arts or yoga or contemporary dance, all of these modalities, or body work or meditation, all of these practices will touch upon working with your awareness, placing your attention on body parts, and all of them choose different, even religion. Religion works with attention. So all of these practices will choose something to place your awareness on as a practice. Like some people, yogis say that they choose the breath because it's always with you. I would say the breath is a very complex phenomena, and I would not start with the breaths right off the bat. I mean, gentle awareness of the breath is okay, but using breath as a object to place your awareness is really tricky, because there are a lot of people out there living today. I don't know how it was in whenever Patanjali was living or whatever, but a lot of people living today struggle with anxiety. I don't know that much about depression, but anxiety and depression, but more importantly, anxiety for me. They have panic attacks, they experience stress, they worry, they overthink. All of these states of the mind, all of these, they have physiological ramifications in your body, and usually start to progress into some form of chronic pain or tension. So working with the breath, and again I go really deep, but it's okay. Working with the breath, it could be, where is that breath and what is this thing we call the breath? Because the breath actually is a really complex thing that happens throughout your body. So if you were working with body mind centering, it would be a whole body experience. But before you could stretch your awareness to include all the micro little movements that happen throughout your toe, through your pelvic floor, into your ribs, it takes a bit of practice, a bit of learning about your anatomy, about a bit of working with your sensations. So I would say the easiest is maybe keep the breath in your freaking nose. Because if you go into the ribs, people have so much dysfunction in their diaphragm. Things are so locked up there that it could actually become a source of further tightening and negative reinforcement of dysfunctional patterns in the body, as opposed to a helpful awareness practice. So some people focus on the breath, some people focus on, like somatic practitioners, a lot of contemporary artists inspired by Bonnie Bainbridge Cohen, by Skinner release. They use parts of the body, anatomical concepts, even organs, even sensations around blood and enzymes, and knowledge about these systems to rest their awareness on that knowledge and sensing with the body through certain images or awarenesses of physiological processes. Religion uses a lot of imagery, a lot of storytelling. So all of movement is storytelling. Storytelling is very powerful to encourage whole body moves, to encourage the body's autonomic nervous system switching on. It's not just a question about, okay, I'm going to put my hand here, I'm going to put the other hand here, I'm going to cross them, or whatever, the choreography of things. It's not just directional in space, like put it to the left, move it in a circle to the right. Already you're using images, a circle, the sensation of a circle. These are very associative, powerful, archetypal, cognitive, psychological, and physiological tools. And children work with that. All these things they play with. It's not a joke. It builds up your nervous system. It creates your ability to think, to integrate your body. But anyway, so religion uses a lot of powerful images and storytelling. So you would have icons, you would have a halo over someone's head, the circular image. You would have candles. These are tools to arrest the attention, rest it, so it can calm down the frontal cortex, overthinking, rest on an image outside of you, to allow for the autonomic nervous system to deregulate. Of course, they also use like incense, which captures your olfactory sensation, so it could take your mind away from a obsessive thought and rest it on a sensation. Feed the brain new stimulation by giving pleasant smell, which can very quickly deregulate. For example, for me living in England, I can tell you that the horrible smells that exist in London really triggered panic attacks in me, because my body very quickly sensed something was not okay. Because I'm used to living in, Bulgaria, we have warm weather, we have a lot of herbs and plants that release very pleasant smells. So going into a system where there was a lot of garbage, a lot of like humidity that traps unpleasant smells, my body really struggled, and it gave me signals that something is not okay. Obviously, that's just how their environment is, but not everybody's so sensitive. So religion uses, icons or stories about gods to, engage your attention in something away from what might be preoccupying you. This is the first step of working with your attention. It goes much deeper. In somatic practice, contemporary somatic practice, we study a lot of anatomy because we want to, once we start engaging with the mechanics of functional movement, we want to be able to encourage people to sense in where is that tension. And then when you breathe in, or if I move my arm, what happens in my heel? Or what happens in my lower back? When you start sensing without trying to change it, you will start giving information to your autonomic nervous system, to your proprioception. You will start going into what we call, I like this term, loading gravity into your body. So you're not going to be in the muscles of like picking something up, you're muscling it. You'll be in the sensation of resting into your pelvis to pick this up, like sensing in with the weight in your body. I'm sorry if this is too conceptual, because these are concepts that gradually get taught, but they are part of a movement practice. So learning to move your awareness, learning to work with the breath a little bit, because the breath goes beyond just working with your awareness. It goes into regulating your nervous system. That's a big one. In the method, we use the breath to regulate the nervous system. In yoga, they use it. People use different terminology of what they're doing. You could be reaching enlightenment, whatever you want to call it. You are down regulating the stress response, reconnecting to your body, harmonizing the endocrine system, all of these physiological activities that happen autonomically in response to engaging with practices that downregulate the stress response. And basically, downregulating the stress response is stimulating sensations in the body of ground, of pleasant smells, of harmonious stories, harmonious images that give you a sense of safety, protection, nourishment, and that triggers the autonomic nervous system to go towards rest and digest and procreate and away from a stress response of danger. Somebody's going to eat you, reject you, all of these unpleasant things that upscale our desire to fight, flight, or collapse. So a movement practice and working with me particularly, but I think any sophisticated movement coach would incorporate skill building techniques into their practice that escalate your experience, your knowledge, your ability to work with your attention. With me, you also have to study anatomy and physiology because within contemporary somatics, we do use that as a awareness building, as an exercise for awareness, but also then understanding the technique of functional movement. Not that you're gonna make your body walk. Like, I don't like it when people tell me that their physio told them they have to stand up straight. What is that going to achieve? If your lower back is how do you say, like cramped, it's like tight. What is standing up straight gonna do for that? If you have kyphosis, what is standing up straight gonna do? You're not gonna release the kyphosis by just going into your lower back and lifting up the head. If your neck is tightened and forward, what is bringing it back gonna do without first releasing the neck? And engaging with practices that could regulate the fluid exchange in your body so the spinal curves can rebalance in relationship to each other. It's dynamic rebalancing, not the stand up straight, go into your lower back. That's ridiculous. So we study anatomy because it's helpful for me to convey knowledge and expertise for you to engage on a daily basis with functional patterning, not to make it, but to sense in when it starts to appear in your body and encourage it and move towards a more fluid movement with ease. So study anatomy, study a little bit around working with the breath, super important for rebalancing the nervous system. Study placing awareness and moving awareness, just understanding awareness in your body. At a certain point, of course, it becomes awareness of thoughts that come with certain movements, feelings. It's a progressively sophisticated way of noticing, and also you start to notice how it chemically rebalances your body at an advanced scale. Nobody's going to ask you to do that in the first 2 months. Awareness, working with attention, working with the breath, rebalancing the nervous system, studying anatomy and physiology to start understanding functional patterning and dynamic posture, not static posture. Nobody's going to ask you to stand up straight. Alignment is important once you've hydrated and released the lower back and the neck. Otherwise, alignment will be with compensations. So studying anatomy, physiology, and with me, compensations in your particular body. I'm not going to teach you about every single being, although if somebody wants to invite me to teach in a group, that's a very valuable learning experience because I will pay attention to particular people and you will learn from seeing different compensations and different bodies about your own. So learning in a group is very valuable. I personally don't have the capacity to set up the room, to do the marketing, to invite people, but if somebody invited me, or if you have a really skillful somatic practitioner teaching a group near you, please do that. It's amazing. So breath for nervous system rebalancing, attention, working with awareness, moving your awareness, super important. Anatomy, physiology, and learning a little bit about compensations in your body. And then actually doing exercises, right? We're engaging in locomoting parts of our periphery, head, hands, fingers, wrist, the joints, coordination. So exercises around coordination, uh, orientation in space. These trigger your proprioception and they, move blood in your body. They contract and release muscles. So I work with exercises. And the other thing is connection. So there is breath for rebalancing. I'm going to repeat it until you all remember it. Breath for rebalancing the nervous system. Awareness, moving your awareness, working with attention. Incredibly valuable. Nothing else will work if this skill doesn't develop, okay? So studying anatomy and compensation, so you begin to understand your personal adaptations in your body, and when they become dysfunctional, it start to create chronic pain in your body, and how to support yourself out of compensations into more functional patterns. The exercises themselves, something that we're doing to move bones in space and move the lymph by contracting the muscles, all of these beautiful things that we do with movement practice and that excite us, that reconnect our brain. So these four things are really important, and there are basic skills around those that the fifth one is connection. So 5 things that you develop in one-on-one practices, and then those things will serve you in any kind of situation, whether you're picking up your child in a daily lifestyle, whether you're sitting at a desk and you need to understand when the body is going into contraction and what you can do to support yourself, becoming aware of your heels while sitting, or if you're going into a dynamic sport practice and mountaineering, and you're struggling with an injury, or if you're just playing basketball and enjoy being with other people. So connection, the fifth one, will be connection with me, connection with your body. In general, connectivity is what triggers the brain to it's what triggers the nervous system to regulate, because we're social beings and being alone scares the living shit out of us. I don't care if you're introverted or if people scare you and you prefer to be alone more. If social situations tax you, I really don't care. You still need connection with other people. It's a basic human experience that regulates the nervous system and gives us the sensation that we're safe. You need to be in a community for your job, even if you're an artist and you're unique and beautiful. You still need connection, acceptance. These are basic human needs. But also connection is a major part of movement. I am connecting my shoulder with my hip in order to stabilize the spine to move in space, in order to contralaterally move. These are body connections that we practice. But also you're connecting with a trainer. You're allowing someone to see you and help you. You're developing trust in their knowledge. You're developing trust in their ability to body read you and not push you around, but support you and empower you with resources so that you understand what you're doing and you're moving towards more skill and movement. So connection is really important. I cannot tell you how valuable it has been for me, because I've been practicing since I was a little child, because I grew up on a circus. So, I had quite this uprooted upbringing. So being in the circus, there were the showgirls that, nurtured me and welcomed me and put, I don't know what their thing was. They were probably thinking about family and wanting their own family because there were showgirls on a big circus traveling around America. So they would pull me towards them and they would be like, to my caregivers, they would be like, let her come and practice with me, and they enjoyed like imparting ballet knowledge to me and sharing their practice with me, and I just felt nurtured and loved uh, and, and like cared for. Then when I would displace to another place, when I would move to another place between different caregivers, different parts of the world, I would connect with people who would bring me back into movement. It was a space that I understood, that supported me. When you're playing ball games in front of the apartment block, that's what we did in Bulgaria, you're connecting with other kids. It's like, it has nothing to do with me having to explain to you what my gender is, you having to learn who I am. It's a very natural body relationship of somebody throwing a ball and your body responding to catch it. It forms a connection with the ball. And then your eyes look around, you find the next person, you throw it, they catch it. It doesn't matter if they're female, if they're male, if they're with one leg, if they're with two legs. The nervous system is responding and connecting to vibrating, pulsating creatures around. It's the same with nature. You go to nature, nature is inspiring your sense of smell, your sense of oxygen to the brain. You're grounding, feeling the earth underneath your like living earth with thousands of mushroom rhizomes underneath. You're sensing that pulsation. It's deregulating, it's connecting you. The primary thing we study in the melt method is connecting, reconnecting to the body. So many people disconnect by becoming roboticized and these like over repetitive, stressful on your spine postures where they go into so much compression in the spine that they just cannot, the brain cannot handle this dysregulated posture, and it disconnects from part of the body. It compresses the neurons. They become closed off from your central nervous system. You stop using yourself because you just the central nervous system disconnects from the periphery, and it goes into a stress response because there's no communication. Connection and communication are vital. My primary degree in school was mass communication and journalism, and it was one of 8 subjects that was taught in the university where I went, and somebody gave me a scholarship to study there. It was the only thing that excited me there from the available options. There was no physio major I could do, there was no dance major I could do, but communication was what I chose because I couldn't relate to accounting. It was, fun to tally up things, but it just made me feel so sad. I just felt disconnected. I needed connection. So connection is the first thing we study in the melt method. Then we learn to rehydrate tissues that have been compressed and like all the juicy fluids have been squeezed out of them. The muscle is not feeding, the nerves are not getting oxygen. So rehydrating, rebalancing the nervous system, like learning to dynamically reorient your thoracic over your pelvis and your head over your thoracic over your pelvis over your little bases of support, which are your feet. So that's rebalancing the nervous system, revitalizing your spinal posture. So we do reconnecting, rebalancing, rehydration, and then release. That's when we release the lower back and the neck. So I hope this gives an understanding, and I'm sorry, this is such not a pretty, this is my kitten, it's not pretty at all. It's not a pretty setting, but what I'm saying is important. So if you come to practice with me, or if you choose to practice with anyone else, I think that one-on-one sessions online in the comfort of your own home for 2 to 6 months are important for every human being to learn about somatic practices and these 5 things. Learning to work with your attention and moving your attention. It will serve you in anything you have to do. Because sometimes I ask people to move their shoulder and they end up moving their neck or their head. I'm saying move your shoulder and they do this. Like, becoming aware of what you're doing in life will help you change patterns in your body. So working with your awareness, working with your breath, that is the primary way that you start to rebalance the nervous system. But it also serves everything else. It could be an exercise for moving your awareness, but it has more powerful aspects to breath exercises, and that's rebalancing the nervous system. Awareness techniques also rebalance the nervous system. They overlap. The third one is, with me, you will have to learn some anatomy and physiology, because I don't want you relying on a doctor to tell you what's happening with your body. You should have some resources and understand neurofascial medicine. I don't care who you are. Everybody has to learn a bit of contemporary medicine to make decisions about their body. And learning about compensations in your body as they apply to your own body, the physiology of your own body, the adaptations in your own body, and when they start becoming dysfunctional, how you can move towards more functional patterns. The fourth one is, obviously, I work with movement. You could go to a meditation teacher and only do meditation. I don't only do meditation because I have so much sensations in my body. I do not want to be sitting for 10 hours. I have sat for 10 hours, 13 hours a day and done Vipassana training, and that sharpened my awareness and my ability to work with my breath. But it is not my general practice. This is not my exclusive practice. Some people think that just meditating will solve all of your issues. I don't believe in that. I don't believe people not working with their body. I think people have to work with their body. You have a body, so work with it. Learn to move it. So moving, I work with movement, with awareness. And the fifth one is connection. Connection in movement, like understanding what we're connecting to. We might be connecting with sensations of flow, or we might be connecting with sharp bursts of movement and seeing how that affects our nervous system. But we will be practicing connection, connecting between each other, setting up a safe space, developing your agency, connecting between anatomical parts of your body. So connection is a big part of the 5 things, the 5 essential skills, I think, that you practice in one-on-one somatic sessions, 2 to 6 months. And this is what I can do for people. This is what I want to share. I want you to leave. I think 2 months is too little because we've barely scratched the principles and just like started to go through them in terms of learning this exercises a bit, learning the principles, understanding how it works, but then to really rest into it and allow the body to respond and go deeper. For me, 6 months is minimum, but people have their own, they might have more exciting things to do. But when you leave the 2 to 6 months with me, I want you to have a bit of experience of these 5 things and a bit of awareness and a bit of improved skill set to work with those, so that when you go practice something, you have more resources, you're more empowered. So yeah, apologies for the not very beautiful. I usually am very aware of my setting, but I felt inspired to share this. And if anyone watches it, if you want to work with me, send me an email, find my website. There is a lot of information there. You don't have to read it. We can learn about it in practice together with connection, with support. Connection is support. When you develop a one-on-one practice with a trainer, you're basically paying for the support I offer you because you could read about it on your own, but support has a neurological manifestation in your body. It will help you improve much faster. That is just a fact. I know all these exercises, and when I'm in the presence of my teachers, I go much deeper because I'm supported I'm seeing my attention is being directed by someone skillful. So yeah, I wish to everyone that they would start working with their body with awareness and utilizing the tools that we have from neurofascial research and the tools from traditional yoga, martial arts, all somatic practices to rebalance our nervous system, reconnect to ourselves so that we're more capable to connect to others with more peace and calm and love.